There are a wide variety of color gels available. When used in conjunction with proper light control, colored gels can greatly enhance your imagery. The creative use of color gels for background lighting can provide a sense of mood or drama to both studio and location productions. Holshevnikov explains.
I think lighting backgrounds with colored gels is a lot of fun, but there is one trick to getting saturated colors like this, and it again comes down to light control. Your background needs to look black on camera before you add your colored gelled light to get really saturated gel colors. The idea behind this is that if you contaminate your background with spill light from your main sources, it's going to take, for instance, this white piece of foam core and turn it gray. And then once it's gray, you're not going to get that saturated color that you would get out of a black background. Now, as it sits right now, the top of the board looks black on camera. And that means I've achieved this by controlling all the spill light, and there's so little light on that board that it looks black on camera. Now, if you're shooting film, that means your background needs to be about 3 to 3.5 stops under your main subject exposure to get this kind of saturation of the gel colors. But once you get your background down to looking black or even near black on camera, then when you add gelled light, boy, the colors really pop on film and video, and it really can make a difference in your productions.
Before we begin to examine the use of gels for background lighting, we must understand the concept of light transmission through colored gels. If we look at the GAM colored gel swatch, we can see that each gel lists a number that represents the light transmission, or the T factor of that gel. For instance, gel number 740 has a T factor of 17%. That means that this gel, when used on a light, will allow only 17% of the light to pass through the gel, while the remaining 83% of the light is absorbed by the gel. It is important to understand light transmission factors to be able to predict the light loss from each gel you use. By using T-factors when lighting backgrounds, you can be sure to choose the proper light intensity for the desired lighting effect. In this first image, we can see how the use of a colored gel background can enhance a studio product shot. Through careful light placement and proper light control, the white foam core background surface appears black on camera before the background light source is turned on. With the 650-watt Fresnel light turned on, the lower half of the white background area is now illuminated, while the top of the background remains black. The simple addition of 1 or 2 sheets of a colored gel on the light instantly turns the white surface into a saturated colored background effect. Once the proper lighting is completed, it is then just a matter of selecting a background color for the final shot. Without careful consideration of light control, we can see how spill light can contaminate the background surface, and how the effect of any colored gels on the background now appears washed out and is much less dramatic. A look at the lighting setup for this shot reveals the use of a soft grid on the overhead Rifa light and careful placement of the ARRI 300-watt accent light to ensure that the white background surface remains unaffected by spill light. A 650-watt Fresnel is used for the background lighting effect. In a similar setup, we can see that any neutral tone can be used as a background for colored gels. For this shot, a piece of black duvetine cloth was used for the background. Due to the light-absorbing qualities of black surfaces, a colored gel effect on black will require a more powerful lighting instrument to achieve a similar effect as when using a white background. News sets and other studio productions can also benefit from the use of colored gels. This news set was designed with the colored gel effect as an integral part of the set. The white translucent wall in the background of this set is backlit by gelled fluorescent tubes, and just as with any other gel effect, light control was a major concern. To ensure vivid saturated colors, Holshevnikov kept all spill light from the set off of the white background wall. With the gelled fluorescent tubes turned off, we can see that the background surface appears black on camera. With the fluorescence turned on, the overlapping gels produce a rich, graduated colored gel effect. Using tungsten-balanced fluorescent tubes, the gels used for this effect were 2 stops of neutral density gel, combined with GAM color number 740 off blue at the top, and a combination of GAM full CTO and light bastard amber gel at the bottom. Color gel effects can also be created by using different color temperatures of light. This footage from a car commercial was captured on a tungsten-balanced film stock. The car was lit by tungsten light with an overhead 15 by 30-foot Camera F2 bank. But the blue background glow was achieved by using daylight-balanced HMI PAR lights. The daylight-colored light from the three 1200-watt PARs would appear as white light on a daylight-balanced stock. But on tungsten film, the HMIs produce a saturated blue colored background effect on this gray Studio Cove. The diagram for these images shows a large overhead soft light source suspended over the car and the three PAR lights hanging from the grid directly behind the F2 bank. To light the front bumper and grille of the car, two 1,000-watt Fresnels were directed into a 4 by 8-foot piece of foam core board, which was placed in front of the car. Another useful instrument for creating interesting background effects is the ellipsoidal or LICO light. LICO lights can be used with a wide variety of patterns to generate a multitude of background lighting effects for studio or location productions. Additional still or moving background patterns can be created with the use of the GAM spin effects. The spin effect system allows two effects discs to spin in opposite directions. Variable speeds can be controlled by most dimmers. The spin effects is best used in the front of a LICO light, but it can also work well with the Fresnel lensed light and PAR lights. When used with colored gels, water and other moving light effects can be created quickly and repeated easily. Colored gels can also be used effectively in location environments. Medical buildings often present white walls as a background in almost every room, but with careful light placement and light control, an entirely different mood can be created with the use of colored gels. This image was created in a small eye examination room. A 750-watt Lowell Total light in a small Camera light bank served as the main light source. With the light bank directed away from the back wall, and by using a honeycomb grid on the light bank, nearly all spill light was eliminated from the background wall. An airy 300-watt Fresnel was then used with lavender gel to create the colored background effect. This image of a speaker in a boardroom was enhanced by light control and the use of colored gels. By first exposing for the constant in the shot, which was the projected image on the screen, Holshevnikov then lit the subject to match the screen exposure. The use of barn doors on a 650-watt Fresnel and proper positioning of a Camera light bank kept the screen and white walls free of spill light. Two 300-watt airy Fresnels were then used with blue gel to accent the background with color. This corporate office shot provides another example of using gels on location. The use of a grid on the main light bank controlled the spill light from reaching the white walls and blinds in the background. With little light on the background surface, the 650-watt Fresnel with 1/2 CTB gel created a rich slash of colored light that has a dramatic impact on the image. And finally, this corporate interior fountain shot was altered through lighting and the use of color. The fountain area was inside the atrium lobby of a building. Using three 1200-watt HMI PAR lights, Holshevnikov illuminated the subject and background structures with two instruments and used the third with a lavender gel to backlight the fountain spray. For this shot, it was the placement of the subject's key light that kept the spill light from contaminating the fountain area.